and antagonizing you to make you look at yourself and saying, you're my mother. And there's, and then, you know, a part of her, too, might be your own soul that is coming out of her, hitting you in the face as a cosmic mirror. So she's saying, yeah, the anger and the pent-up rage that you had when you were violating, you wouldn't speak it. You held it in, and you held it as self-hatred and low self-esteem, and you might have did other destructive shit, or you might have gave men or somebody else permission to do destructive shit to you. I know you're still pissed off inside, and this is your alter ego, and I'm going to bring this shit out of you, and I antagonize you because you need to get pissed off, and you need to deal with the shit, the unresolved shit that you wouldn't say to your mama that I'm saying to you. All she's doing is making you deal with yourself. You saying your daughter's a problem, but your daughter is the mirror, because you are the bag of shit. And when I'm saying bag of shit, you're not looking, you're not divine, because you don't know it. You are a goddess, you are a queen, you're magnificent, and you're beautiful, but your mother told you was a bag of shit, and that you were nothing. And a part of you believed what your mother said. That's why it hurts you. Because a part of us we want our mother to idolize us and see we're beautiful, and we get those trophies, and we get those good grades, and we get those awards, because we want her to see we are magnificent and divine, and we want her to say it, and she would never say it. She would never take her power from you. She had power over you because she knew you wanted her to say you were divine, and because she never did, she knew that you lived as a victim. And then she wouldn't give it to you, and she died and wouldn't give it to you. And because you said, this is what I need from you, you didn't realize you were divine by yourself. You're not in her womb no more. Although you're an extension of it, you don't need her to christen you as a divine goddess, because you breathe for yourself and you sustain your own life. So you're a part of you. You might not consciously know it, but you're still caught in that battle with your mama, in that dilemma. And I don't care if she's not here. It's certain shit you need to say.
Yeah.
You really need to come to terms with the anger and the rage you feel and what hurts you and why it hurts you. Even if you got to write it out on a piece of paper, I don't care if you got to get a punching bag, you got to get her picture and attach it to a punching bag and imagine it's her and say everything to her that you always wanted to say that your daughter's just letting your ass have.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just where I see it, you know, but you got to break this down for yourself, because I've been where you at.
Yeah.
And I had to realize that stuff went about my child. Children do things they normally supposed to do, and they're vocal and they're intuitive, and they don't know how to lie and how to suppress shit until you start beating it into them, and you kept repeatedly telling them, don't say that. Did that man breath stink? Don't tell that man his breath stink. Go along with it. You hide things, baby. That's a nice thing to do. You teach them how to lie, and you teach them how to suppress. So now the other part of yourself that really wanted to stand up has come out through your daughter, and she's saying everything she want to say, how she want to damn see it, and let the chips fall where they may. And you want to attack her because you don't like the fact that this goddess done raised up in her so young and standing flat-footed and telling the damn truth.
Yeah, that's it.
What you got to do, though, she's telling you, you got to do it. You got to tell yourself the truth. You got to tell your mama the truth. You got to resurrect the goddess within you and get rid of all this shit you carrying, all the garbage, all the lies, all the self-defeating ideas, all the self-hatred, all the anger and the rage, because she did not christen you as divine. You got to get rid of that, and you got to christen yourself, because she ain't doing it. One day I had to tell myself that my mama ain't coming. It was just like in the movies when you look at them animals. Y'all need to watch some animal cartoons, because you can not just the cartoon, but the shows that can teach you something. When them lions give birth to them babies, they feed them for maybe 2 years. Then all of a sudden she get the hell on and go have some babies somewhere else. She lead them, and they wake up whining, yep, yep, yep. They yelping, looking for their mama, the little cub. Yep, yep, yep. They look for her for a few days until they realize she not coming. She ain't feeding you no more. She not protecting you from getting eaten no more by no hyenas or nothing else. You on your own. You might not never see her no more. Now, what you gonna do? Still whining? Yeah, where my mama? Where my mama? See, a part of us, when we hurting like that, we still whining for our mama to come back and pet us and love us and christen us as queens and divine, because that's her job. But if she don't do it, if she choose not to do it and oppose you as a part of a karmic debt you got, are you gonna do it for yourself? Or you going to spend your life wounded and limping, and then through your daughter and through other women, they standing up in your face and they telling you, I know who you are, but you can't see it. I know I'm divine. I'm going to spit this to you. I'm going to make you look at it. I'm going to make you look at yourself. I'm going to hit you. I'm going to hit you. And the worst thing you can do is attack her, but because you set up the cycle and you're still not dealing with your own shit.
Yeah. Instead of attacking her, I just tell her to, I kind of try to ignore it. I tell her she has to go in her room and she can't talk to me right now because I need a break.
No, Mama, you can't ignore this. Now, send her somewhere to play, but you got to deal with yourself. You can't keep ignoring this, because for you to feel the anger or for you to feel the pain, that means it keeps coming up because your spirit is telling you the time is now. For you to raise up to be the goddess you were born to be, you have got to go into the past. You got to heal this shit, and you got to get rid of it. You got to deal with your pain, your anger, your insecurity, the grudges, and the unforgiveness. You, whatever way you feel like you need to do it, if you feel like you can't do it alone and you need to get somebody to help you do it, this is the time, because it's lingering there, and now your daughter's reminding you. Because now you got a vagina to deal with. You got a vagina on top of a vagina to deal with, and she is reminding you. She's scratching on that wound. She's pulling that scab down.
Mm-hmm.
It's not her. It's you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, oh boy, I don't, you know, I don't know, because when back years ago, about maybe 10 years ago, one of my ex-boyfriends told me, he said, you don't even love your mother. And it was so shocking, and it hurt me to hear him say that. But after a while, when I got by myself, and I thought about it for a long time, and I was like, did my mother cause so much damage to me that I really don't love her? When she passed away, I cried at her funeral, and that was it. I just cried a little bit at her funeral, and I went to work the next day.
That's okay. I understand how you feel. You don't really she didn't give you a reason to love her. The way she hurt you and abused you, that is totally normal. And a part of you crying is also a part of you grieving, and the little girl part of you does have some love for her, but then another part of you is so cold and broken that you couldn't really feel it. There's nothing to be ashamed of or feel bad about. It's normal.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't deserve it. She wasn't worthy of your love. Just because she gave birth to you don't mean you have to respect her and love her when she's disrespecting you and telling you you're not worthy of love and kicking you in the gut every chance she can.
Mm-hmm.
And see, you got to look at all this stuff. You have got to heal it. It ain't about your daughter. That's why I was saying I had to realize it wasn't about my son. So when he just wastes something or crying or too loud to knock something down, me wanting to attack him because he did that, it really wasn't about what he did, because that's just what kids do. Grown folks waste shit. Usually a lot of times women will let a man waste something. Oh, baby, that's okay. You wasted. I'll get it up. But then they little boy, what the fuck is wrong with you? What you wasted for? Why you can't do nothing right? See, what's the difference? Why can you not tolerate the child wasting something, but then a man waste something that you fucking, oh, honey, that's so cute. You wasted. What you think of? And it ain't no problem. You can clean it up and ha, ha, ha. What's the difference? See, that's a sign of self-hatred. Because nothing your child does is ever right. And when they do something wrong, they get beat up like they did 10 things wrong. But then some man you screwing or that you liking, they can do shit like that all day. And it's not a big deal. When you start doing stuff like that and pitting men over children, and the child can never do anything right, and whatever they do in comparison to the same thing that somebody else does, they get beat up and humiliated and they never hear the end of it, that's a sign that the child is not the problem. You are the problem. You got some other shit going on that ain't got nothing to do with that child. When you treat other people better than you do your own child, and the child is walking on eggshells, petrified that it can never do anything right around you because you're going to attack it. That's some old wounds that somebody else inflicted on you, and some old hatred and unresolved conflict within your own spirit and your own inner child that needs to be healed. But you take it out on that child, because what's the child going to do? Usually the man will slap the shit out of you, or the man is going to leave if you do that to them. But the child is a unwilling co-conspirator in your codependent reality. And usually the child has to suffer the brunt of it until they're old enough to walk away. And you don't want to do that to your little girl.
Yeah.
That's why you can't ignore yourself. You can't ignore the little child inside of you that is hurting. You have got to heal this shit.